Chapter 2, Fire! After supper, Lars and John divided the pelts into 2 equal piles. John took his share home. Lars and Kirsten took theirs to the barn. Kirsten found an empty nail box lined with hay and put the little raccoon inside. It nestled down and closed its eyes. But Kirsten and Lars pulled the pelts over wooden stretchers and scraped them with knives. As she scraped the pelts, Kirsten watched the raccoon sleep. It seemed tame already. She thought there was no need to worry about it causing trouble. Soon Mama came to the barn to cuddle him for bed. Her eyes went wide when she saw the raccoon in the box. "Children, why did you bring a raccoon home? You know how much mischief they cause," she said. "Remember the raccoon that stole the fish for our supper right off the table?" Lars looked up from his work. This raccoon was knocked out by a trap. Kirsten brought it home so he could get on his feet again. "Wild animals don't want to be touched," Mama said. If it let you pick it up, maybe it's sick. Sick animals can be dangerous." Kirsten covered the raccoon's box with a piece of wood. "It's not sick, Mama. It just stays and needs rest. When it's stronger, I'll let it go," she said softly. She thought of John's smile when he put the little raccoon into her hands. John wanted to be her friend. Mama pulled her thick shawl over her head. Even in the barn, it was shivering cold tonight. "I don't think your papa would want a wild animal in the barn. Be sure you keep it in the box, Kirsten." Lars picked up the lantern and put his hand on Mama's shoulder. "Let's go back to the cabin, Mama, and don't worry. It's just a little raccoon. Kirsten will take care of it." Mama sighed. "But you mustn't bring it near the cabin and let it go the minute it seems well. Do you promise?" "I promise," Kirsten said quickly. She thought her mother looked very tired. Mama had so much work to do these days, and she missed Papa. They all missed Papa. Before they left the barn, Kirsten put the raccoon's box under the hay where it was warmer. "Get well," she whispered to the sleeping raccoon. "Get well quickly." When Kirsten woke up the next morning, the first thing she thought of was the raccoon. But there wasn't time for her to go look at it. She had to feed baby Britta her oatmeal, and she had to make breakfast for everyone. Today was baking day, and Mama was already busy making dough for their bread. "Kirsten, I'm going up to Aunt Ingrid's house to bake our bread in her big oven," Mama said. She picked up a tray of dough. "While I'm gone, I want you to wash out the diapers and help Peter learn his numbers and look after Britta," Kirsten finished for Mama. Mama smiled. "That baby sister of yours does need a lot of looking after, doesn't she? She crawls everywhere," Peter said. Britta pulled herself up on his knee and tugged at the slate he held. In her long flannel dress and many sweaters, Britta was as chubby as a bear cub. She was sweet, but she was a lot of trouble too. Peter raised the slate out of her reach. "I wish it wasn't too cold to have school," he said. "I never heard you wish for school before," Mama said. "Britta can't come to school," Peter scowled. Mama rumpled his yellow hair with a free hand. "I know it's hard to be cooped up in the cabin all winter, but soon it will be spring and you'll be running outside again. While I'm gone, you must shell the walnuts. Walnuts, Peter. When I come back, I'll make a little cake for supper. Be good children." "Yes, Mama," Kirsten said as Mama went out the door. Kirsten wished she could go to Aunt Ingrid's house and play with her cousins Anna and Elizabeth. She wished she could go on the trap line again today with Lars and John, but Mama needed her to stay in the cabin and work. Kirsten checked ice off the window and gazed at the barn. Was the little raccoon getting better? Was it warm enough in the box? Maybe she'd just take a quick peek at it before she did the washing. "Peter, you hold Britta for a minute, will you? I'm going to run to the barn. When I get back, I'll tell you why." Peter looked grumpy, but he held out his arms for the baby. Without buttoning her sweater, Kirsten raced to the barn. She dug the raccoon's box out from under the hay and peeked under the board. Good. The raccoon's eyes were open, but the little thing trembled with cold. It missed its warm nest with the other raccoons. Kirsten decided that if she took the box to the cabin just for a little while, the raccoon would warm up and get stronger more quickly. She tucked the box under her arm and ran back. Kirsten set the box by the cook stove. Come look, Peter. Peter put the baby down in the center of the bed and crouched beside Kirsten. She lifted the board. Peter peered in. Kirsten, what a funny face it has. It looks so friendly. Before Kirsten could warn him not to, Peter scooped up the raccoon like a toy and set it on the floor. Right away, the raccoon dashed under the bed. Catch it, Peter, Kirsten said. Peter flopped onto his belly and grabbed for the scampering raccoon. But the frightened animal was much too quick for him. It darted across the floor under a chair. We have to catch it! Kirsten snatched at the raccoon's striped tail. It might break something. The raccoon raced up the chair and leaped onto the shelf by the cook stove. As it scurried across the shelf, it knocked a tin cup and a candlestick onto the floor. Britta laughed out loud. She thought the chase was a new game, but Kirsten was alarmed. Peter, get it back in the box, she cried. Her fingers brushed the raccoon's paw. She almost had it. Kirsten knew the raccoon wanted to get out of the cabin and back to the woods. Maybe she should open the door and let it run free. But before she could get to the door, the raccoon jumped on top of the table. Peter reached with both hands. The raccoon leaped and tipped over the oil lamp that sat on the table. The lamp crashed to the floor and broke. Flames shot out from the spilled oil and caught the tablecloth. Oh no! Oh no! Kirsten cried. She jerked the burning cloth from the table and stamped on it, but now the spilled oil spread. Suddenly, the oil was a trail of fire across the floor. How could she put out the fire? She dumped the wash water onto it, but that wasn't enough. The burning oil crept under the bed where Britta sat. Kirsten grabbed the baby and pushed her into Peter's arms. Run to Aunt Inger's, Peter. Tell everyone to come help. Tell them to bring water. She opened the door and shoved Peter on his way. The raccoon darted out right by his heels. Hurry, Peter, hurry! She called after him. Run to Aunt Inger's, Peter, Kirsten cried. Tell everyone to come help. Tell them to bring water. Kirsten grabbed the coffee pot and splashed it on the fire under the bed, but that didn't help either. If only she had more water, a lot of water. Already flames had caught the blanket and the straw mattress. She beat it with a rug, but quickly the fire spread up the cabin wall where the clothes hung. Moment by moment, the fire grew stronger. Their cabin was burning down. What could she save? She picked up the candlesticks Mama had brought from Sweden. Would Mama want her candlesticks most of all? Maybe the rifle was more important, or the stew pot. There wasn't time to think. Kirsten's eye caught the big blue trunk that had once held everything her family owned in America. The family Bible and their extra clothes were stored in the trunk. Surely it was the most important thing of all to save. She shoved the rifle and the candlesticks into the trunk and latched the lid. But the trunk was so heavy. Kirsten could hardly budge it. Now the flames were climbing into the rafters over her head. Somehow she dragged the trunk to the door. Then she got behind it and shoved. The fire crackled at her back. Flames roared in the shingle roof overhead. Hurry, hurry! She put her shoulder to the trunk and pushed again. As the trunk went through the door, Mama and Aunt Inger came running. Mama, help me! Kirsten cried. Kirsten, come here! Mama grabbed Kirsten's hand and pulled her away from the burning cabin. Aunt Inger yanked the trunk away too. Now Elizabeth and Anna and Peter came with buckets of water. They tossed the water at the fire. More water! Aunt Inger cried. She filled her apron with snow and pitched it at the fire. Elizabeth and Anna filled their buckets with snow to toss on the flames. Peter and Kirsten scooped snow with their hands and threw it, but the flames only leaped higher. Fire filled the cabin and burst out the window and the door. The cabin burned like a giant bonfire, sending sparks up into the cold air. It's too late, Mama cried. Get back, everyone! Get back! Don't get hurt! As they backed away, the cabin roof crashed down into the flames with a roar. All they could do was watch as what was left of their home went up in black smoke. Aunt Inger hugged Mama, and Mama hugged Kirsten and Peter, and Anna and Lisbeth hugged each other. Tears rolled down Mama's face. We're all safe. That's the most important thing, she said softly. She pressed Peter and Kirsten against her. You two are safe. The baby is safe. Kirsten even saved our trunk. But what will we ever do now? You'll come live in our house with us, Aunt Inger said. It won't be so bad, you'll say. You can start over again. Don't cry, dears. But Kirsten couldn't stop crying. Their pillows were burning, and their blankets, and their sweaters, and even the diapers for Britta. Their spoons were burning, and their tin plates and mugs, and even the wash tub and the mixing bowls. All they had left in the world were the clothes on their backs and the things in the trunk. How could they possibly get along? How could they possibly start over? And what would Papa say when he heard that their home had burned to the ground? She buried her face in Mama's shawl and wept.